Hey guys, this is Andre, a certified translator and a real estate concierge. Or should I say, Namaste, this is Ganju Baba, the charming tag that my friends assigned to me in the next door blog that we're going to discuss. Today we're talking about the bad boys' lies. And today we're going to talk about Priyanshu Jha. As I told you, they're separate things. So firstly, we will discuss ongoing Indian drama, the relocation fraud that has been massive and quite damaging to some people. And it's time for actually getting some spice into the story and call some names and ask some specific questions to specific people rather than doing all these strange moves on the camera. Of course, when my friend Kawaljeet departed last October, you remember that his residency ended in last October, as we openly said on the video. The residency expired, he had to leave, and the police and me were left behind here trying to catch the bad guys, which didn't work out super well. But a rumor was spread by the bad boy that Kawaljeet was deported. He was talking to bad guys, he was the wrong guys, he was asking the wrong people for help, and he was deported and banned to enter Belarus for 5 years, except there is one little thing that he forgot to tell everybody, and he was really calling people and saying, I got Kawaljeet kicked out of the country. Kawaljeet, how did you get kicked out of Belarus with a ban to enter for 5 years? Hello, by the way.
Hi, buddy.
And pleasure to see you in the country again.
Hi, friends. I'm Kawaljeet. You have seen me on Andres blog.
It's real. It's not virtual reality thing.
So the thing is, spread the rumor here last year in October when I went back for Diwali vacations with my wife. He kept on telling everybody here in India or the people who had invited by him here that he got me deported, there is a travel ban on me and I was kicked out of the country. All this is again a bad boy lie, as usual.
So let's try and go through all the three cases that damaged this gentleman's budget and see what happened over the last 6 months. The first case was a Pakistani national, Zia Khan, that was portrayed on a law firm company from Belarus website, saying that he had a degree in law, which he doesn't. He was successful in international blah 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 business relations. He only screws people and arranges human trafficking across Belarus from what we know. That we assume, however, this hasn't been proven by court. And this Zia Khan offered you permanent residency after he arranges you the temporary residency. So essentially the Pakistani guy, who is not a lawyer, he was recommended to us by some strange brothers who run a restaurant on the food court. That's our second story. And the Pakistani guy arranged your TRP so that you'd get 3 months instead of 12 months. And he also promised to arrange your PRP, permanent residency.
That's absolutely right.
What did he promise?
He promised me that he has actually some connections in the interior ministry and he'll be able to get me and my wife permanent residency for some dollars. He took money from us. Basically, he was introduced to me by the Mohanty brothers. They told that they know this guy Zia Khan since last 2 years. He was not just a random guy who walked into us, he was introduced to us by these brothers. And they said that they have also paid some money for their PR, permanent residency card, to Zia Khan, and he has some good connections with the ministry. So you also want to invest money here, make business here, it's better you take your PR card. It's more stable to stay here.
And he promised you in return for $30,000. In the end, you paid him $20,000. This was on screenshots. We have proof. We have police case. So I should say that now it's the Ganju Baba story. That means bold guy. And
Ganju Baba and Bunty and Bubbly story.
And I'm really losing hair and getting them gray because of the like what we discussed and like we're not going to discuss down the script. And I think they are going to pay for this, but everything in time. And pay meaning in a legal and appropriate, in this country's standards, way. So let's see what happened to the story with the houses. What's the story with the houses? You got 4 houses, 2 for your wife, 2 for yourself. Who sold you the houses? What's the idea with the houses?
हम लोग यहाँ आए थे 2020 नवंबर में. मेरी मैरिज एनिवर्सरी वाइफ के साथ मैं आया था सेलिब्रेट करने इधर. प्रियांशु का मैंने ब्लॉग देखा मिथिलेश बैकपैकर के ब्लॉग पर. मैं मिथिलेश को फॉलो करता था बिकॉज मुझे भी वर्ल्ड ट्रैवल करने का शौक़ है. उस पर मुझे इसका ब्लॉग दिखा प्रियांशु का कि मैं इधर बेलारूस में हूँ फ्रेंड्स, यहाँ कोई भी आप इंडियन आना चाहते हैं मुझसे मिलिए, आपका भाई इधर आपका वेट कर रहा है। तो उससे मेरी बात हुई, उसने बोला कि मैं आपको मिलने आता हूँ, और उसने अपना परिचय और अपना मेल मिलाप हम लोगों के साथ इतना किया, इतना प्यार दिया कि ये लगा कि ये हमारा कोई बिछड़ा हुआ भाई है। पर ये नहीं पता था कि आस्तीन का सांप है, ये हमको ही डसेगा। उस टाइम पर इसने हमको बोला कि इस तरह से काम है, अगर आप इंडिया में इन्वेस्टमेंट करते हैं, आपके पास मोटा पैसा है, तो आपको मैं $10,000 के हिसाब से इधर 5 मकान आप ले लो, $15,000 में मकान मैं बेच दूंगा, मेरा यही काम है इधर। और ये भी कहा कि अगर आप 1 मकान लोगे तो $15,000 में आपको पड़ेगा, अगर आप 5 मकान लोगे तो $10,000 का 1 मकान पड़ेगा। हम बिजनेसमैन है इंडिया में, तो हमको वो लालच थी कि चलो ठीक है, अगर $5,000 प्रॉफिट दे रहा है तो ठीक है, 5 मकान ले लेते हैं। 5 मकान इससे हमने लिए, उसमें से 1 मकान इसने दिल्ली के एक लड़के को, हिमांशु को बेचा, और 4 मकान अभी भी मेरे पास हैं, उसमें से 2 मेरे नाम के हैं, 2 मेरी वाइफ के नाम के हैं। विकासपुरी, जय चौहान, हिमांशु, तरुण भटनागर, ऑल दिस गाइस, they don't see their lives, they don't see their things, they know what they are, how deep their pockets are, they know what their financial standing is. They are peanuts. I know their financial standing, but what bullshit they talk. They call me Bunty and Bubbly. They bloody know their scammer friend has cheated us with how much money. He knows, they know everything, but they act like his commission agent. They lure Indians for Belarus, they get a hefty commission, free accommodation, free airfare, free entertainment, night parties, and they are happy to get another victim from India to be cheated by him.
Okay, so they are assisting the bad boy in his lies. It's a really great network of lies. Bad boy, I have the top respect for the scale you're operating on, and your Rolls Royce and all your shit and all the luxury that you may soon be parting with. We'll do our best to make sure that happens. So let's speak about the bad boy a little bit. The bad boy is based in Minsk. He's running a little video blog, and he has his luxury Rolls Royce. So he's saying in his recent blogs that I don't have office.
देखिए दोस्तों, ऐसा है कि इसका जो ब्लॉग है, इस ब्लॉग को काफ़ी सारे इंडियंस देख रहे हैं। इंडियंस चाहते हैं इंडिया से बाहर निकलना, यूरोपियन लाइफ जीना, अपने बच्चों के लिए अच्छा फ्यूचर। ये बंदा अच्छा फ्यूचर दिखा के, यहाँ आपको बुला के, सपने दिखा के आपके पैसे ले लेगा। इसके पास झूठ के सिवाय और कुछ नहीं है। मेरे दोस्तों को इसने बिज़नेस बेचे हैं, जो बिज़नेस $5,000 $3,000 के भी नहीं थे, उससे इसने $25,000 $30,000 लिए हैं। मैं अपने दोस्तों का नाम नहीं लूँगा, वो किस सिटी से हैं आपको भी पता है, आप उसके सारे ब्लॉग्स देख सकते हैं। मेरे साथ वो भी दिख रहे थे हर ब्लॉग के अंदर। उसने लोगों को घर बेचे हैं, बिज़नेस बेचे हैं, ऑस्ट्रेलिया में, दोहा में, बॉम्बे में, दिल्ली में, हिमाचल में, गुजरात में। शायद ही कोई स्टेट बाकी है जिसमें इसने चीटिंग नहीं की है। और इसका पास्ट भी अगर आप देखें, मेरे पास सारे प्रूफ हैं, इसने किस किस कंट्री में कितना चीटिंग किया है। मेरे पास PDF है पूरा। आप चाहें तो मैं आपको पर्सनली वो PDF शेयर भी कर सकता हूँ, आप उसके कारनामे पढ़ सकते हैं। फिर आपको पता चलेगा कौन बंटी बबली है और कौन सही बंदा है। मैं प्रूफ के साथ बात करता हूँ, मैं किसी का नाम ऐसे ही ख़राब नहीं करूँगा। लास्ट इसके ब्लॉग में इसने ये बताया था कि दोस्तों आप इधर आएंगे, बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग बाज़ार में घूम रहे हैं जो इनविटेशन दे रहे हैं इंडिया से आने के लिए, प्राइवेट इनविटेशन दे रहे हैं। इस तरह के लोगों से सावधान रहिए, जिनकी खुद की ऑफिस भी नहीं है, वो किसी बिज़नेस सेंटर में बैठ के ब्लॉग बना रहे हैं। ये लोग आपको कहाँ से जवाब देंगे? आप इधर आओगे, आप इनको कहाँ ढूंढोगे? मैं ऐसा चोर हूँ जिसकी खुद की ऑफिस है, खुद की गाड़ी है, लोगों से चीट करके पैसे लिए हुए हैं। मैं आपका भाई हूँ, मुझसे इनविटेशन लो, मुझसे आके अपना गला कटवाओ। बहुत बड़ा चोर है, प्लीज़ बी केयरफुल।
So the major things he brought up in the blog is I don't have office. What's the story with invitations?
He was telling that be careful, there are some consultants in Minsk who will be extending you the private invitations to come to Belarus. They don't have their offices, they sit in business centers and make blogs. Don't trust this kind of guys. I am the one who has his own office, own business. You can trust me.
Okay,
I am answerable.
That's it, generally?
That's it.
Okay, guys, firstly, I'd like to elaborate on that. Firstly, I'm selling solutions. I'm not selling houses. I'm not selling limos that don't go. I'm not selling what was that, cafes that don't work and some other things. I'm not selling these things. I'm selling solutions that get you the job done rather than sitting on your ass crying about bills to pay and the money that is gone.
That's right.
I'm dressed like a hunter. I don't have this luxury suit about me. I don't have, my fingers are clean, guys, and I don't have a gold-plated iPhone.
He gives a solution and he creates a problem.
I'll finish. My fingers are clean. I don't have a gold-plated iPhone, and that's something you're not paying for either. Because
no chains,
if I had
no
some
rings.
Place over here, if I had some kind of a block booked for me, some leather sofas. You remember the legal company where we went? They have all the leather furniture, they have all the posh stuff in the office, and a rather stupid lawyer, by the way. And Zia was working in that company, except the company replied us officially that he wasn't working there. So if you're wanting to pay for that, the guys we just listed, go to them and ask them for a solution that you're looking for. Otherwise, I have a legal entity that operates in immigration officially. I'm visiting the offices in this official capacity. I have my company, and my office is somewhere in Minsk, but it's so minimal that there is no point in bringing somebody there for a meeting, because if I need a presentation or something, I will actually rent the respective premises of the appropriate scale with appropriate equipment just for the short while when I need to show the houses, the flats, the things that we're looking for. That's it. Mostly it's going to be on the tab. And this justifies my price tag, because compared to a legal firm or a real estate company, and we are working with real estate companies, by the way, because I don't replace one. I'm just a concierge, I'm a translator, but I don't replace realtors or any other guys. And mostly I operate in the field myself, so that's why I am what I am and look whichever way I look like. Okay, since we're online with the bad boy, and he seems to be the only guy who is pushing dislike to my videos, my dear Mr. Bad Boy, Mianam
Ganju Baba hai.
Ganju Baba. I have some questions for you, and the first question is, what's the story with the guy who bought a limo? His name was Vinay.
Vinay.
And why didn't the limo actually start, or why didn't the guy who paid money for it never saw the limo? Nothing to add, right?
कोई जवाब नहीं है उसके पास.
Okay. My second question is, what's the story with that cafe in Nimiga, near the garage cafe or something that got opened and it got closed, and its owner, you can actually name his name. He's sitting in Minsk, or where he is? What's the story?
He just came back a week. He went to India, just came back. He was calling my friends in India, calling my friends in Minsk, asking for $800, $900 for his air ticket. And he doesn't know where his financial standing is. He doesn't have airfare also, and he wants to come to Belarus.
So the bad boy was helping him to buy a business, right? A cafe, actually.
He already had a small kiosk kind of thing in Nimiga with the name of Biryani House, where he was not supposed to cook food. And what he says that he was never mentioned that he cannot cook here. He can just sell cold food, just microwave and sell it. He cannot cook something, as in the fumes and exhaust, it's not possible over there.
Okay.
He took that business for $25,000, and last what he came to know yesterday, that place has been taken back by the owner. He got a dime, zero.
Okay. So what was the bad boy's role here?
Bad boy's role was to get him this shop, open his company for few $1,000s, which all went down the drains. Keep his papers working, his accounts, there was zero business. So somehow he was trying to keep the company open. And my friend just got into the shithole, knowing also that he's getting drowned, but still he wants to enjoy this kind of thing.
So the question is, could you explain this, please? Yesterday morning, guys, I got one more good Indian guy asking me if his TRP is still valid, and of course I can ask around and I can establish if his TRP is still good. And it was not. He was banned, actually, and he bought one of those houses by the bad boy, the very bad boy that was spreading rumor, and he was calling the father of the guy that called me, that he was calling him to India, for God's sake, and saying that I got Kawaljeet kicked out. So could you explain to us, how did you get Kawaljeet kicked out of Belarus? Again, he's not a hologram, he's real, he's standing next to me. Please, if you might.
If you have the guts, come, I'm in Minsk.
And what kind of government position are you holding? He says in the blog he has a government position or something in Hindu.
दोस्तों ऐसा है, ये ब्लॉग्स में जो दिखाता है बत्ती वाली कार इसके आगे पीछे घूम रही है, ये सारी एस्कॉर्ट कार पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट देती है आपको $100 रेंट पर, आप और मैं भी अपने पीछे इस तरह की कार रख सकते हैं $100 देकर। ये सारा दिखावा है, छल है पूरा, बेवकूफ़ बनाने के लिए। इसकी कोई गवर्नमेंट पोजीशन नहीं है, ये सिर्फ इन्फॉर्मेशन देता है विटिब्स्क और मोगलेव फ्री ट्रेड जोन के लिए। इसकी कोई गवर्नमेंट पोस्ट नहीं है, ये अपने आप को बताता है कि मेरी कोई सरकारी पोस्ट है, पर ये एक सिंपल इन्फॉर्मेशन देने के लिए वहाँ बैठा हुआ है। इसको आप पूछो आज तक इसने कितने इन्वेस्टमेंट करवाए मोगलेव में और विटिब्स्क में? ज़ीरो। ये उधर सेमिनार पे सबको लेके जाता है, आई कार्ड पहनाता है गले में। उस सेमिनार में आप भी जा सकते हो, आपको बिज़नेस करना है, फ्री ट्रेड जोन आपको इनवाइट देगा कि आइए प्लीज़। तो ये सारा स्कैम है, बहुत बड़ा स्कैम है, प्लीज़ इससे बच के रहिए। इसकी कोई गवर्नमेंट पोस्ट नहीं है, ये सिर्फ यहाँ पे लोगों को बेवकूफ़ बनाने के लिए बैठा हुआ है।
And as you see, for the last 6 months, nothing ill happened to me. So,
मैं आपके सामने खड़ा हूँ, इसने मुझे इधर सबको बताया है कि इसने मुझे डिपोर्ट किया है। मैं आपके सामने खड़ा हूँ, इसकी कोई ताकत नहीं है यहाँ पे, ज़ीरो।
So the story that was just deleted on the Bad Boys YouTube, there's the popular blogger Mita Lash, who has my highest disrespect, because when he promised to take his kid and wife out of Belarus, he was going to share a video with what happened here, with what kind of things he's hearing about, but he did nothing of the kind. Mita Lash, I know that you created a fake company for fake business. You know that evil things are happening to your Indian compatriots, and the only guy helping them is actually me, not an Indian. How could you explain that, Mita Lash? So there is the Mita Lash ass in the limo, and the Bad Boy is filming a story, and he's making it look like there's a police escort. But the thing is, and I explained it to you guys, there's 2 blue lights. And that's just regular criminal police that is asking for priority in movement. That's not traffic cops. The traffic cops who escort VIPs, and you can't really hire them for that. They do government things, they do very high-standing official things. I'm saying this because I used to be a tour guide giving tours to such guys a couple of times only. So they use 1 red light and 1 blue, and this entire thing was for show. So if the Bad Boy could care to explain why he was filming it like it was police escort, that would be really great. I also heard of some guy, Krish, who got a beauty salon somewhere in Moskovsky market.
He is a friend, Krishan Bhardwaj. He's from Himachal. A very nice guy. He came here, he invested around $35,000 he paid to this gentleman. And the business was offered to him as a beauty salon where he would make some good money. He got so frustrated seeing the shop and the mall where he was given that shop. No business, no staff, no walk-in customers. After getting frustrated for maybe 8-9 months, he sold that place for mere $5,000. And now again after 4 months, that shop is again for sale for $3,000. That means that shop was for peanuts, which was sold to him for $25,000-$30,000. A very big scam.
So if the Bad Boy could possibly tell us what happened there with that story, I understand he was orchestrating, managing the story. That would be really lovely. And now that we're done talking about the Bad Boy and his lies, and like I told you in the previous releases, it has nothing to do with Priyanshu, the commander of luxury and the investment mastermind here in Minsk, the bridge between Indian and Belarusian nation. We are going to talk about him on a separate note in the next part. Don't switch the channel. My dear Mr. Priyanshu, I have a few questions that you may be happy or probably unhappy to answer. And since you're a blogger like me, maybe you will stand next to us. I'll try to hold his right hand to, calm him down. And you could answer some of my questions. The first one is, you're selling a Bentley. And for some reason, you're selling a Bentley with the help of some strange girl, the very strange girl that actually issued his private invitation to be converted to temporary residency later. So my question is not about how this strange girl turned out to work for you or do any assignments like this for you. My question is, why do you carry the filmmaking studio permit on the windshield of your car, which permit is from 2019, when you, as far as I understand, were assisting in bringing together the Indian filmmakers with the Belarusian filmmaking studio, and as I understand, there was never any films released with the Indian filmmakers. It's a violation of the traffic rules. Any strange papers on your windshield are a violation of the traffic rules. Maybe you may want them removed. Could you explain why do you have it under your windshield 3 years later? It burnt out from sun already, but it's still there. And the sponsor of our little clip, guys, is actually a nobody. So I would like to introduce my own tailor-made app. It's called the Geotag. It's made for Android, and it allows you to screenshot, to capture the details of anything you like geo-pinned. If there is a car parked with violation, it's not a problem to capture that and see where it is and report it to the respective authorities. If there is a utility problem of some kind, you can report it as well. And it can be used in multiple different uses: real estate, in construction, in road survey, in nature wildlife survey, and in all kinds of things. The app is free for the first 10 shots, so you can test if you really like it, and you can easily download it from the Google Play Store. The link is down below. It's a paid subscription, of course. Somehow it's very popular in India. It's the top country using it. And if you need something geotagged, Geotag by Minsk Guide is your perfect solution for that. Cheers. Master Priyanshu, my next question. I believe I'm professional in the immigration field, and all my clients that have come through my company on my company's invitations, which are business invitations, by the way, if you were wondering. And none of them came through some strange girls, the very strange girls that are selling your car, maybe doing some other assignments for you. This is none of my business. But somehow your company, which I understand does not exist, your business entity is individual entrepreneur. And basically some strange people are inviting people to have business here, to get residency here, and many of them fail. Many of them are willing to go to court, by the way. Could you explain to me why a serious guy like yourself, with all this, you know, luxury settings and everything, why is there no LLC, for instance, to actually do all these operations legally? Whenever I'm touching upon some story, and two guys in Minsk are willing to go to the police already, one guy is coming from India, and he has a band, by the way. That's our next question. Why is there never a link to actually the guy who was dealing with them, the guy who was bringing them here, the guy that was vlogging them here? Out of the blue, these guys fail. These guys lose a lot of money, and there's no connection to you. You were hoping, you were planning, and it never worked. Could you please explain that? Mr. Priyanshu Jha, could you please tell me when you introduced, by accident, I understand that's your mistake, Mr. Rajkumar Rana, which is now planning his trip back to Belarus. We met through your help, thank you, by the way, in the Galleria with Kawaljeet present, and he will confirm that. There was a deportation notice to Rajkumar, and you took him to the migration office of his district, where, as you explained, the boss, the man, as you confirmed to me in my questions, said that they don't want to tell the reason why this guy is kicked out. He's just kicked out. You see, the first thing that I noticed is that the station chief is a woman, not a man. And you confirmed you were meeting a man. So I'm not asking about this. Could you please tell us how Rajkumar Rana came here first time, how he came here second time through some chamber of commerce of Gomel region, and what kind of business did you offer him, like the lounge, which is the funny place in Yakub Kolesa 37, the money he threw into renovation through the, again, the strange guys that are assisting you but not working for you officially, as I understand, Igors, Andres, whoever shit. And how come that this guy got a 5-year ban based on the little house, which again is featured in your charming video blog? And by the way, the Bad Boys blog is not to be associated with your blog, just mentioning. What's the story about Rana? You met him in Minsk?
I met Rana in Minsk in 2020 November when he came here with my wife. That time, I think a day before me leaving Minsk, Rajkumar Rana arrived here. It was a brief meeting with him. Priyanshu told that Rajkumar Rana is some political guy from Haryana, and he is also invested in houses and property. So basically to convince me also to invest money. It was a brief thing. We just shook hands, and I know his name, Rajkumar Rana. Then later on I saw him on the blogs with Priyanshu. He had invested in the village houses. He was sold one coffee shop in Dana Mayak area, behind Dana Mall. That coffee shop was opened, basically opening ceremony was done by the Indian ambassador over here, Mr. Alok Ranjan Jha. He was invited here. basically to create a aura that he is so well connected in the Indian community and everything. So it was just a scam. This guy lost around $150,000.
Priyanshu Jha, you said that this guy never paid for the 4 houses that actually are written in his name. 5 houses. And you said that you took the money out of your pockets. Could you please clarify how that comes about? If he has crypto confirmation of the payments, he has just one screenshot, but it's there with the company, with the channel logo and with the code of the wallet. And one more question. How many houses did you pay for out of your pocket? Because there will be dozens of cases I know of with people complaining against you. There won't be many complaining because some are afraid, and this is something we'll discuss next. How many houses did you buy? Are you a Santa Claus or something? Is there some kind of a village house program with you that you're running? I will apply for that. I want a village house somewhere 3 hours away from Minsk in some dump hole. And if you could please put some money on the table for me, I would be really grateful. Thank you for this question. After I released my full video about how this house scam works, and on top of other cases, there was our case with Kawaljeet that got this thing to the upper levels, to the Department of Migration chief, who started taking action against this bullshit, and most of the bullshit houses now are losing people TRP. So some people, again, I repeat that, sitting in India or somewhere with their houses here, their houses for $3,000, $5,000, we want the cheapest house shit. They are canceling the TRPs now. So how is the Mr. Lumber doing? What was the old man's name?
Pravin Lumber.
And he called you and complained you about the house that is 3 hours away southwest, while his son is... It's not in Vitebsk, it's in Brest region.
Okay.
I just heard it from friends of friends.
Okay.
How much money did he put into that shed? It was a barn of a
around
house.
$5,000 to $6,000.
Yeah, and how much
he had to pay for the renovation, and he bought that house for $15,000.
After I released my full video with the whole story about
he was crying on the phone that Priyanshu
takes his Bentley southwest and films this nice fam trip video about the family sitting next to their suitcases with a charming little lad, charming little kid who makes a student in Vitebsk now and who is the moderator of the Mr. Jha's channel, by the way, for some reason, and who is also photographed here. I'll put the picture. So, and very unhappy old guy. I was wondering why the hell the old guy was unhappy, because I don't speak much Hindu, but why the old guy was unhappy?
See, basically, when Bhavya Lamba and Pravin Lamba came to Belarus through Berlin Travels, Priyanshu called me up, that time I was here, and he told me that these guys have come from Delhi and they are not getting convinced to buy the house. So if you can please come and talk to them and convince them that they should buy a house, there is no problem in taking the house. Till that time I was on good books with Priyanshu, and just like a customer, Priyanshu invited me so that I could convince them, and that house was of some Canadian guy who is another guy who had bought 3 houses from Priyanshu. So Bhavya Lamba and Pravin Lamba spoke to me, they took my phone number but they never called back. They made the payment in Delhi to the owner of the house. Everything was executed by Priyanshu.
I don't think the owner of the house got any of that money, or most of that money. So point is, he put some, you said 15,000 bucks into a house, or 20?
$15,000 was paid for the house,
into
and
that barn.
$5,000 to $7,000 for renovation.
So about 20,000 for the house that he'll probably never see. And his kid is in Vitebsk, and basically there is something wrong about it because he never got the residency, as I understand.
He went back. He said the house is so cold, there is no heating in the house. After putting so much money also, he could not survive there in that house in that cold. He went back to Delhi. He didn't stay back for taking his residency permit also. And his son is studying in Vitebsk doing hotel management course. He's just a 19-20-year-old chap. And Pravin Lamba is scared for the well-being of his son, so he does not want to come live. But he calls me quite often and cries on the phone. He says, I'm helpless, I cannot do anything. I wish I could do something against this guy.
So, Priyanshu, if you could please comment on this family happily living in the village where it's not really happily living anymore, that would be really cool. That's the point of our story here. Priyanshu, the last question for this video, and there'll be a ton of questions in the next video, I grant you. There is a guy in Minsk who got a house from you a few years ago, and by the way, you were the translator at the deal. I saw the papers, they are funny, and the guy got no TRP on his house, so he had to buy his father's half of the house. Do you think it's going to work well for you? And do you think all these complaints are going to work well for your business with people coming? And I'll be sure they'll be coming even with the bans to come to Belarus. The bans will be lifted. Consider this an invitation to talk to us on the camera in the first line or off the camera if you become shy for some reason. And consider this an official, and I mean official, and Kawaljeet confirms this,
Yes.
invitation to sort out our things before the court. Please react kindly, and we will also send you a respective text message just in case you miss our YouTube movie for some reason. I know you're busy on YouTube yourself, so you might miss the premiere. It's coming live on Sunday next week, Sunday 23rd, I think, 16 o'clock. Don't miss it. Brew the tea hot. Kawaljeet, now I'm Russian, or half Russian, whatever, bold, Ganju Baba. And you are here with me, you've come back to press your rights and to get your money back. The money that was stolen from you by 3 rather nasty guys. I've been asking around and I've encountered a dozen cases where money were parted from people, and these people, some of them in Minsk, some of them already outside Minsk. Some of them are keen to come, by the way, if they see any hope in our little thing. They are scared. They are shit scared of something that I really can't explain. Everybody is like, I don't have time, I'll do that next week, blah, blah, blah. I don't think we have any hopes. Don't think. Check with a lawyer or with the professionals handling things. What's wrong with you, Kawaljeet? Why are you here to claim your money?
मैंने पैसा दिया है, मेरा ये पैसा हार्ड एंड पैसा है. मैंने किसी कसिनो में बैठ के या किसी को चीट करके नहीं कमाया है. मैं इसके लिए छाती ठोक के कैमरा के सामने खड़ा हूँ, आंध्रे के साथ खड़ा हूँ और सामने बोल रहा हूँ कि इसने मुझसे इतने पैसे लिए हैं, इसने मेरा चीटिंग किया है. जिन घरों की कुछ कीमत नहीं थी उसके मैंने इसको $50,000 दिए हैं. मेरे पास हर चीज़ के प्रूफ हैं, स्क्रीनशॉट्स हैं. इसको मैंने जो भी पेमेंट दी है, और मेरे जो भी दोस्त हैं जिनके साथ इसने चीटिंग किया है, आप दिल्ली में बैठे हैं, हैदराबाद में बैठे हैं, हिमाचल में बैठे हैं, आप लोग आगे आना नहीं चाहते, कंप्लेन करना नहीं चाहते. आप लोग छोड़ रहे हो भगवान के ऊपर कि हमारी किस्मत में होगा तो पैसा आ जाएगा. भगवान कुछ नहीं करेगा, आपको ही करना पड़ेगा. आपको कुछ करना है, आंध्रे का कांटेक्ट कीजिए, मेरा कांटेक्ट कीजिए. पुलिस कंप्लेन करने में कोई झिझक नहीं है. आपका पैसा भी मेहनत का कमाया हुआ पैसा है. इस तरह उसको जाए मत होने दीजिए. मेरी आप सबसे यही रिक्वेस्ट है. डरने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है उससे. उसकी कोई ताकत या कोई औकात नहीं है.
Well, guys, thank you for your attention. We'll be surely waiting for the feedback of our friends, shall we call them, for now. And thanks for standing and fighting. I think we'll get it somewhere nice. Don't switch the channel. Thank you for any help, likes, donation, comments underneath. My contacts there. Thank you for watching and see you in Minsk. Cheers.